What is up, everybody? My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about how to start a pressure washing business with no money. I'm going to be walking you guys through my story, how I got started in the pressure washing business, how I had no money at the time, and how I was able to scale up from there, as well as I'm going to be telling you guys about my buddy Aaron. He had a similar situation where he had no money and he was actually homeless, and he was able to scale his pressure washing business into doing multiple $100,000 a year from nothing, essentially. So in today's video, I'm going to give you the blueprint on how to start your business with no money and scale up to being a sizable company. But if you're looking to get some good equipment and you really can't afford it right now, check out our friends over at ClickLease. It'll be the first link in the comment section and the description. They have instant approvals of up to $20,000. All credit scores are welcome. Customers can pick monthly payment terms that fit their budget. They have no hard credit pulls and no time in the business required in order to get financing. So if you're looking to get started and skip the whole 2.5 gallon a minute pressure washer hauling it around the house phase, check out the first link in the comment section description and get some financing for some equipment. So if you've been on the channel for a while watching my videos, you might know my story, you might not, but basically I had no money. I was about 22 years old at the time, and I decided that I didn't want to work for anyone anymore, and that's kind of how I came up with the channel name Forever Self-Employed. My last job that I ever had was working for a landscape company, and while I was working for them, I was like, you know what, I can do this on my own. I was cutting grass, I was fixing people's beds, we were doing bed maintenance, all that kind of stuff, and I was like, this is not difficult. I don't know why I'm collecting an hourly paycheck from these people when I could just go and get the jobs myself. So I started my landscaping business, at least what I thought was a landscaping business, basically flipping people's beds, pulling weeds, trimming shrubs, basic stuff, nothing crazy. But I started making some money on my own. You know, I started getting paid. I would land a job, I'd go out there, do it. I'd collect cash the same day, and it was just amazing to me, right? Like I would have a hard day's work, I would do a good job, I'd get some great before and after pictures, and then I'd get paid on top of it. I'd go home feeling incredible. I was like, I never want to work for anyone else ever again, especially now that I know that this is possible. So I did landscaping for a little while, and I found a pressure washer in my dad's garage, and I was like, man, pressure washing sounds a lot more fun than landscaping does, so maybe I can add this into my business. It was a 2.5 gallon a minute pressure washer. It was just a residential pressure washer that you pick up at Lowe's. You guys know how you walk into Lowe's and they have like all those washers laid out, just basically for all the homeowners to go in there and get one. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna add pressure washing to my list of services. I did, and then I started advertising for it. So I didn't know anything about pressure washing at the time. There's no YouTube. There might have been some YouTube videos about it, but I didn't look them up. There was Facebook pages, but I didn't look them up either. I had no service cleaner. I basically wand everything, and a lot of people get annoyed with me on the channel for wanding things, but if you're at a stage in your business where like maybe you can't afford a service cleaner or you can't afford a good service cleaner, like there's no shame in wanding. I did it for a long time. Driveways came out great. I still did a great job, and my customers are still happy. So it's just something I like to include on the channel because it was part of my journey and how I did things. So another thing is I never used chemicals. Like I didn't know anything about bleach. I didn't know that, like my dad would tell me, you know, you should spray some Joe Max on stuff. And I was like, probably not. I never really wanted to give it a try. I never liked chemicals. I never liked mixing them up. I still don't really like chemicals that much, but I understand how they fit into the business now. So at the time I had no money, and I did a similar thing with the landscaping business. Like I would just borrow the blower that we had at the house, because like my dad would cut the grass, I borrowed that. We had a rake, we had a shovel, we had basically everything that was in my garage I utilized as a tool to get going. And people would be like, you know, your dad helped you start your business. Well, not really. To some extent, yeah, because I used the equipment that he had there, but I was just leveraging what I had. I think we all have like an uncle or a family member or someone around us, a friend, somebody has some equipment that we could use to go out and make money with. I just didn't let it stand in my way that I didn't have it, so I wasn't going to be able to do it. I just utilized what I had near me. So if you guys have someone with some equipment, utilize them and say, hey, can I borrow your equipment? Like I'll give you a couple bucks for letting me borrow it or something, you know, like utilize what you have. That's essentially what I did. And at the time I didn't know anything about charging either. I didn't know how to charge for jobs. I was like, well, you know, I was making $10 an hour before, so now I'm happy with about $25 an hour and not paying any taxes. So I would quote every single job at $25 an hour. So if I was like, this driveway is going to take me 4 hours, I'll charge it at $100. Well, it really probably should have been $200, $225, but it is what it is. I know now. At the time, I did what was best for me, and I did what was best to my knowledge. So all this to say that I took advantage of what I had and what was free and made money, and then I reinvested into my business. So some people say, well, you know, what if I don't have a dad with a pressure washer? Well, then you can do like my buddy Aaron did, and you can basically land the jobs first. This is what Aaron would do. He would market himself. He would go out, do the quotes, land the jobs, and then he would book them a week out. And then when it came time to do the jobs, he would go to Home Depot. He'd run a pressure washer. He would do the job, and he did this up until he could reinvest into getting his own equipment. And Aaron actually went into debt in order to build out the rig that he has now. But of course, now it's already paid for. He realized that he could land the jobs. He realized how much money he could make. He believed in himself. He took a loan and he paid it back. So you can do it either way. You can leverage the free that you have right now with maybe a family member, friend, or you can do like Aaron, schedule the jobs, rent from Home Depot until you have the ability to reinvest in your business, or you can go the financing route, which is what Aaron ultimately did in order to get the equipment that he needed to do the jobs, to make the money in order to pay it back, to scale his business. So there's 3 basic ways that you can do it. You can leverage what you have for free, you can rent until you can purchase, and then you can finance your way into the business. Now, the first couple months is what is going to make or break you. A lot of people will not make it through the first couple months. Either you'll get through the hard part and build momentum into your business, or you'll realize that this wasn't as easy as you first thought it was, or as easy as what it looked on the internet, because I know sometimes we make it look a little bit easier than what it actually is. But that's the formula. You borrow if you can, you rent if you must, and you finance if you want to go ahead and jump past everything. I'll tell you what, I wish that I could have financed, because the amount of time that I would have saved, like hauling around a 2.5 gallon a minute unit around the yard, just like pulling it and not knowing what I was doing, really lost me a lot of money. Land jobs, do good work, and repeat it until you can own your own equipment. The word of the day for this one is going to be do it. I hope you guys got some good stuff out of it, but essentially the first couple months are either going to make or break you. And if you can get through that first year, I'm going to make a video on this, but the second year is exponentially easier, and it only gets easier from there because you've made the contacts, you've done the jobs, you have the leads, you have referrals coming in all over the place. Like, it just gets way easier. So decide which route you're going to go, and then put your head down and don't look up until you've saved enough money to purchase better equipment, and then don't look up again until you're in year 2, because it's just going to be a grind in the beginning. That's essentially what it is. It's just a grind. So anyway, my name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed. If you made this far in the video, comment down below, do it, and I will hashtag you a real one. My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed, and until next time, hustle hard and get that money, baby. Peace.